live. Hello and welcome. Let's make sure we're hearing. Sorry, there's no theme song. It's okay. It decided not to load up for some reason. Whatever. Anyway, I'm confused. Regardless, hello and welcome to Movie Crap Live. How are you all doing today? I hope you're all doing well. I will send the tweet cornbread. Let me send that. And hello, how are you doing today? Oh, Cinram is here. How's it going, Cinram? I'll mention a thing. It's not a too personal thing. Also, Cinram, this is a question only for Cinram. And I'm not trying to, I know sometimes I say Cinram knows about this and I'm wrong or I miss, but because you're from Chicago, do you know about the Sven Gulli? I'm just curious. I've been meaning to message you, so just let me know in the chat. Do you know who the Sven Gulli is? Anyway, hello. Oh, hey, Dan is here. Cornbread, Purple Goop, Austin, Daniel Bergen. We have a cool crowd tonight. Oh, Nathaniel Foga, straight from MomoCon, I believe. But anyway, yo, what's up? Oh, hello. Hello, John Barton. A Svengoolie museum? No, not a museum. He's just like a horror host who's on MeTV and is also on MeTV. And he said he was from Chicago. And I was like, I wonder if you're not a horror. Well, I think you. Anyway, I was just curious if you knew. That's all. I apologize. I shouldn't have put you on the spot. Anyway, I should have just messaged you. I just saw him on TV. Whoa, DreamWorks Animation Marathon. That's cool. All right. Anyway, welcome to Movie Crap Live. Sorry the song decided not to work right before. It made me feel wonderful about myself. But yes, I am hot out the kitchen, and I have this awesome shirt given to me by Ryan Walterson of Masters of the Universe. Let me stand up, give it its due, of a movie I saw in theaters when I was... I'm not sure the year right now, but I was little. I was the littlest person in the theater, which I don't think it's happened to me since. Oh, hello. Okay, no, it's cool. Sit around. I didn't think it was your thing. Sorry, I was just curious. Apologies. Anyway, that's my bad. I'm sorry. Anyway, Bloxy is the first super chat of the night. Says, if Skibidi Toilet is in Fortnite, when's Paul Blart? I'm actually... Paul Blart should be in Fortnite. Oh, let's reveal the... it's the year of... I was like 4, I think. Depending on the release date. Hold on. Here is... Sorry, I want to make sure I said... Here is the energy drink. Is the Monster energy drink watermelon. Because my son... the only reason I got this is for real because my son... wanted watermelon, and I thought, you know what, why not get that? It's ultra watermelon, so I guess that's better. Cheers to you. Hold on, let me go. Clear to you, Bloxy. That's nice. All right, first off, I want to give a super birthday shout out to okay. Well, hello, Malcolm Rampart. My dad, it is his birthday today. Happy birthday to my dad. Let's all give a happy birthday in the chat. Yes, this is a different thing. I have not had the greatest week in terms of my health, but I thought, don't tempt me with that. I only do energy drinks, I'm not even joking, for this because I don't want to drink hot coffee. That would not work out as good. It wouldn't. Anyway. Yeah, I didn't, I got sick and I kind of was like, maybe I could wait. And part of me was like, maybe next week because there's probably not a ton of news. But I was like, you know what? I would like to do the stream. I have, oh, that's interesting, Syndrome. Okay, cool. That is a momentous year. I remember that. I think that year for me was like 95, 96, when I could see movies on my own. I was looking up reviews and reading. Well, I was watching Ebert. the first time I cared about a review was Jurassic Park, actually, because I told my parents Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs up, and they told me I quoted. One of them told me once I quoted part of the review. I don't remember that part, to be honest, but a couple people have corroborated that, so maybe it happened. I don't know. Anyway, so I think whatever. But I would read this. Maybe it was around that time. Anyway, that's 87 is a good year to start, man. That's a cool year, I gotta say though. When you mention all the films that were there. Anyway, so yeah, I was gonna do on Thursday, but I woke up sick. I actually saw Final Destination Bloodlines on Wednesday, and I had a horrible time getting back because my train got on the way home, just stalled at a station. It took me like an hour, almost 2 hours to get home. It was kind of not the greatest, not the greatest. There. Hello, Remiku Haraku Shrine. I actually have good material here for the opening. I'm trying to think what else happened. I showed the kids Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster. Sophie'd seen it before, but Oscar hadn't seen it, and that's a good kids movie and pro-environment movie. We should talk about that more. And then they wanted to watch Aristocats tonight. And then did you see a penny? What? I'm confused what that meant. Oh, the penny from... Is that the Final Destination joke? I'm not sure. Anyway, okay, so I have 2 fun stories, and one I saved for the day of Chip 1, 2, 3. I like that. I saved for you guys because everyone else I told the story, I had to explain, what Jellystone was, and that kind of, deflates this whole story. What did they think of Godzilla flying? They like Godzilla flying. They did. That's a good... Wow, I know Dan knows Godzilla. They like that. They did not like the Smog Monster. And they often question, because when we find Godzilla merch in New York, they never have Mothra, but they always have the Smog Monster. And that, upsets my kids to no end. They're like, why would you want him? He's horrible. And then they're still they asked me that today. I was like, I don't know who would want the Smog Monster over Mothra. It doesn't make sense. A person named Penny. Wait, what? What do you mean? Oh, in Paul Blart? Is that what you meant? There is a person named Penny? I thought Inspector Gadget. I'm lost. Doesn't matter. So anyway, back to Jellystone. So I was, I'll just reveal this. I guess it's not a big deal. Hello, KG Max. So one of my kids had lice, and we had to do the lice shampoo, and it's a whole thing. And I did it last, and I have, this and a lot of hair and stuff, so it took a while. And while I'm waiting, I usually put on, if I have to do things, I put in any thing I gotta wait for on the do you mean the Penny or Penny? Is a girl named Penny? I'm sorry, I'm messing this up. Sorry, it's been a crazy day. Apologies. So I'm doing that, and I'm waiting, and then my son wakes up from his bed, and I'm watching Jellystone, and he wakes up and needs to use the bathroom, opens the door, and he's like, Daddy, what are you? And he sees that I'm watching Jellystone, and he looks so excited that this is what grown-ups watch. When he's in bed, he goes, Daddy, this what you watch? And he was like, well, he was flabbergasted. So I definitely surprised him when I watched Jellystone. He's not around. I loved his little kid face. He was like later he said, you do like cartoons. You do. He believes me now that I watched Jellystone. So anyway, I thought you guys would get that story. Everyone else, they're like, what's Jellystone? Wait, so all of them? Why isn't it just Yogi Bear? And I was just like, you know what, forget it. Jesus, you're killing this thing. Anyway, yeah, it was very cute. My wife understood because she knows I watch that show. But Jellystone, though, when I watch it, I'm like, there's so many jokes that are just a Hanna-Barbera character, and you have to know this obscure ass show to get it. So it is not really made for kids. It is made for me and other animation dorks. That is all that show's made for. Hey, William Ullman, how's it going? Oh, Chicago, cool. The other thing, and I think this is a cool story. This happened last weekend. I won't reveal the names, but my mom, I will check that out. I didn't know you had was that from a while ago? I need to go back, because sometimes YouTube is not great at recommending channels. Anyway, YouTube, I need to go back and I will put that on my watch later. That sounds cool. If I hadn't watched it already. I don't know how long ago that was. Anyway, this is another cool story. I was not there, but my yeah, Nathaniel Fugger, you're right. People who watch Boomerang, they would like Jellystone. Um so my mom was at this wedding, and these two guys who were there, the groom, and I think it's I'm not sure. I'm gonna say she. If they're watching this, I apologize. I don't actually know your correct pronouns, so I'm gonna just say she and her brother. Her brother got married. Sorry, her brother got married, and she was giving the best man speech, and they talked about. Yes, that is the correct way I'm saying it, because I was told it was. I wasn't there, so I'm whatever. But they were kind of the first big Cletus the Fetus fans, and they were like, their mom is friends with my mom, so we hear about each other, because if your mom is friends with someone else's mom, you hear, trust me, you do. You guys know. So then I hadn't I have not talked to them in a long time. We're Facebook friends or whatever. And then one of them, I should have said they, them. You're right, cornbread. Anyway, so they, at the best, it was a best man speech. That part I'm getting, or had the story told to me at least. And apparently they mentioned Cletus the Fetus in the best man speech. And apparently the other guy, I think, the other person, apparently said they wore their Cletus the Fetus shirt twice a week all throughout middle school and I think high school. Anyway, I was like, my mom texted me like, did you know about this? I was like, I did not know about this. So Cletus Fetus got mentioned at a wedding in a speech to everyone. Like, she was like, no, they mentioned it pretty loudly, but I knew they were fans, and like, I remember they got shirts and all that stuff. Anyway, they were cool. One of them actually came over when my their mom came over, and I showed them my Flash setup, and I think it was the only one I ever showed them to. The guy who got married, actually, when he was little. But it was like, it's like really hard to make Flash at that time. Oh, happy birthday, Chan Talks More Movies. It's very hard to make Flash at that time. Exciting, so I don't know if it was. But anyway, it's cool. Cletus the Fetus at a fucking wedding like that. I was like, fucking awesome. That made me feel good. You know, I still need to do that, like, the story of Cletus the Fetus kind of video, and maybe do the last bits of that thing on this channel, because there's not much you can really do. But yeah, that made me feel nice that, like, people still mention it. That's cool. Anyway, I don't think I have too much to mention. Sorry I was sick. It kind of fucked up everything. Like Ed, Edd and Eddy, was it I don't know. Whatever the Flash was in 2003 that someone ripped for me and gave me, then sure. That, if you think it's that, then it is that. I don't remember, so I'm not gonna. But yeah, sorry, the Ed, Edd and Eddy video only came out on Friday because it was supposed to come out Wednesday. I had kind of a horrible time getting home, and after I had dinner, I wasn't finishing that, and then I got sick. And then, like, Friday, I just was like, I am determined to get this shit done, bro. Ed, Edd and Eddy needs to get out. So was it, even though I like that, I'm proud of that review. I know it's shorter, but I like that review. But at a certain point, some of these things where you're like, when you get sick and they keep getting delayed, you're just like, I want you out of my life. I want you done. And anyway, but I'm happy with that one. Good point, Ryan Walterson. Good point. I do like that we're back on a Saturday. This is Movie Crap Live, I guess, has sort of various iterations. It was just Movie Crap, and it was just a news show, not a streaming show. Movie Crap Live started on Saturdays in 2019, I think, and was on Saturdays until my son was born, and then it sort of would come back randomly, and now it's sort of when I can do it, but most times Thursdays. So I think it's kind of nice to be back on a Saturday. It's kind of neat. Anyway, the other things is throwbacks. I had the Mission Impossible Deadly Reckoning Part 1. This Sidram and I were talking about this. Sorry if I'm about how he saw it on Prime and it had Part 1 still, even though they've removed it from, if you look at the title anywhere. And I watched it on Paramount Plus, and it also had Part 1. And yeah, that is interesting. They don't just take that out. I'm not sure why they don't. But I watched that while I was sick because I wanted to get ready to watch that. I forget what the oh, Mad Max tomorrow has been 10 years of Fury Road, and I'm really oh, hey Buster. I'm really I really like that review. I know I've thrown back to it too many times, I would say, but I still am proud of it. So if you're annoyed by that, don't watch it. Maybe I don't fucking know. And then the previous one was my best of the first 4 months of 2015. 2015. Anyway, and I think that's everything going on. There was a new video, the kind of ranking thing that was, I guess, an obvious fill-in, unfortunately, but that's how it goes. And how much do you pay to review a shitpost internet series? How much to pay you to review what shitpost internet series? I guess if you want it on the Patreon movie review vote, we can talk about it, but it depends on how long it is and all that stuff. I need to finish the Ko-fi. Oh yeah, thank you actually for saying something like that. Oh, thank you, Anthony. I am probably in the next month going to have a new Patreon video. Don't take that as e-banging or something like that. I have been needing to make one. I've been saying I would make one for like 8 years, and I actually shot one a while ago, and I'm going to edit it. So if you see that and you're like, what the fuck, that's what's going on. There's also going to be an unlisted video that will not just be for Patreon. It'll be in all the movie review votes. That'll be there for to explain the movie review vote rules, because I thought that was necessary. I've shot those. I need to edit them. When you see it, don't take it as any sort of begging or something like that. It's just like I need to bring more in for the Patreon in general, but I also have been needing to make that video that's like has me with the beard and it's not like so outdated and all that stuff. So anyway, when you see that, don't take it the wrong way, basically. But anyway, I guess I now need to plug the Patreon Discord and all that stuff. Let me go blow my nose really quick. I'm going to mute so you don't hear it, and then we'll do Patreon Discord, and then we'll get to the news. Give me... I don't have tissues in here. Give me 2 minutes. I apologize. I'll be right back. Hello, sorry about that. What is the Baku series, the iconic bullet? Yeah, I mean, if you are a patron, and we can talk about that. I don't know what that is. I'd have to look it up before I commit to say that's okay. But if you are, I would be. I'm at least willing to discuss it. Let me put it that way. Anyway, but if it's a series, I'm not against it entirely, but I'd have to look it up before I commit to something like that, which I think is fair. You know what I mean? Anyway, so this and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through super chats during the show, and I will drink this amazing Monster Energy drink with 0 sugar. I don't think so, guys. Ultra watermelon, which will give me energy to keep going. And after I ran around with the 3-year-olds all day, trust me, I need it. Or through my Patreon, which has all sorts of cool things like postcards that just recently went out, actually. My commentary series, which I have a bunch coming up soon, which is exclusive to that. You get exclusive my public access show. If you are a patron and you want access to that playlist, please message me. And all sorts of cool stuff like that also helps me continue to do what I do, either through super chats where I'll read you and give you a cheers and all that stuff, and helps me continue to do this and do things like have flyers and flyers and stickers and get new equipment keep things going and everything like that. And I very much appreciate it if you're financially able to do so. If not, just liking and subscribing helps the channel out a lot, or commenting or anything like that always helps. But if you don't even have an account and you just watch this in the library that you broke into late night so you can watch the stream, and you're sitting there and you're like Jim, you're my only hope. This security guard doesn't notice me in this weird corner. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you, Gary. I know that you're there. I won't tell on you, but turn the volume down. I think he's turning the corner. Anyway, sorry, I just came up with that. Believe it or not. Also, the Discord, my I guess critically acclaimed community is you should definitely join them. They have it's a wonderful thing. It's in message below. It's run by Ryan Walterson, Zane Powers, Austin, and Cornbread. They do a great job running it. They did a movie watch last night, and I can't remember, even though I should remember because I saw it earlier. The next week they're watching Rush Hour. Oh, cool! That's a good tie-in with Karate Kid. I'm with that. Also, the licensed playing card channel, I actually finally posted these there. I don't know where the Saint. Oh, okay. You know what? I watched that. I like the Saint when it came out on Blockbuster Video. I don't think I've seen it. Saw it once since, didn't like it as much. It is nothing like the show that Roger Moore became famous from. It is nothing like that show at all. But anyway, I'm glad I wasn't there because I like that show. But thank you, Sinra. But it's a great community. If you like everyone here in the chat, and you like how everything's going, hello, only 257 with the waffles thing. That was weird, but whatever. But if you like everyone in the chat and like this community, it's great. You can go there 24 hours a day. We do a daily question in the general, all sorts of things going on. It's wonderful. You should go check it out if you want to. Man, you know what's funny? When I was sick, no nose problems. When it's over, and today, during the stream, sorry, I should not do that on stream. That was gross. Apologies. All right. Sesame Street on Netflix. So, this is the first story. I want to go into this because I almost, and I'm not joking about this, wanted to post a Blue Sky thing, be like, why are people saying this? It was super weird. Because I already did that with CalArts and other things, and I don't know why people are posting that. But I want to explain the deal. So basically, Netflix signed a deal with Sesame Street since Sesame Street is leaving Max. This deal is a lot better than the previous deal, letting them actually go day and date with PBS. So before, with the Max deal, I think it was like 6 months or something. Ryan Walterson, of course, can do that. Sorry, I'll get to you, William Owen. Okay. They go day and date. Max made it like a lot harder, so you get the episode significantly later. This way, PBS is supported. I believe it's still going to be on PBS Kids, and they will take on the library. Now, hold on. William Ellman said, did you hear the new Jafar Panahi film just won the Palme d'Or? Have you seen a movie from him before? I don't think I have. I didn't really get to look at him because there's so much going on. I am going to talk about the Cannes thing later. That became a whole thing for people. But I did hear he won the Palme d'Or and kind of historically won the Palme d'Or, but we'll get into that a little later because it actually is historic. He tied with like some major directors and stuff like that. But yeah, I did hear he won, and I think that's really cool. Anyway, cheers to you, Willie Wellman. But I will talk about, I did see that happened. Sorry, it's on the list, but I did see that happened. I thought, not knowing anything, I think it makes sense, and I think America didn't report Cannes accurately because Cannes isn't just an Oscar prognosticator. It's like an actual world film festival. But anyway, Austin says, while I am grateful the show is back, the communities who need PBS the most will no longer have access because it's behind a paid subscription service. Okay, this is actually what I wanted to talk about, Austin. So cheers to you and thank you for saying this. So, to my understanding, that's not really entirely true. From what I have read, and I'm sorry I'm falling on you so much, Ryan Welchson, but if you want to correct me, Sesame Street will still be on PBS. So if you were just a kid who watched it, I don't know what time it comes on. I'm sure it's different every area. That is still happening on PBS. To my understanding, it's not really on PBS Kids, the app, because my kids watch that app. They actually watched Austin. I forgot to mention this. We watched Carl the Collector today. They've been watching all sorts of cool shows on there. They really like the PBS Kids app. To my understanding, it might be on there, but it is still going to be on the show. So, and it's actually less of a paywall because it's letting them out the same day. I do wish they'd buy up more of the PBS shows to give them more and more support, because I am worried about that stuff. But that is actually, I've seen people post it's more behind a paywall, and I actually think Netflix is cheaper than Max, but I didn't get to look into that. But the communities are still getting that. I don't know why people are spreading. I've seen a lot of people spreading that information, and maybe I should have posted to Blue Sky. I'm not sorry. I didn't mean to call you out. I was literally going to say this, Austin. So don't take it as offense or anything. But it will be just as available. Well, the PBS president thing was a cool quote. I was like, "And Carl the Collector rules, man. You guys do a good job." Anyway, and we looked at your credit when we watched Carl the Collector. I was like, "That's Austin. I know that guy." Sorry. Anyway, what Netflix is doing. My only it's still on okay. Here's Ryan Walsh sit here. It's still on regular PBS stations and will air on PBS and drop on Netflix at the same time, unlike the last 9 years, and later having a gap in release. Thank you. That is true. But the other thing is, I think Sesame Street. First off, if it had landed at Disney, that's really that was the worst scenario in my mind. Is it because Disney has wanted Sesame Street forever. If you remember, Eisner was begging Henson to get Sesame Street. That has always been a thing that they have wanted. It's like the whole Disney Mario thing we all speculate about. Another one I would say up there is Sesame Street. Netflix is better because my kids use the Netflix app, the kids app. It is different from the regular Netflix app, and it's made for kids. And like I get an email from them for a coloring page for my kids, and they do activities, and they're really pushing like it's a really good app for kids. I'm not like the best apps for kids are like PBS Kids, Netflix Kids. I even think the Paramount's Kids section is good. Disney doesn't really do that. They're just like, you're not allowed to watch a few things. They don't design it differently. I do think a lot of people will suddenly be watching Sesame Street because of that exposure. My one thing that I will be critical of when it happens, depending on how they do it, is the library. Because Max kept reducing the library. And I think Netflix is probably smart knowing we get a ton of kudos for having Sesame Street. Netflix loves having that Emmy number, when you see who won the fucking Emmys. And they go like, oh, we won 30-something Emmys. Sesame Street pretty much always wins Emmys. Like every year I feel like Sesame Street wins Emmys. If you like collecting Emmys, it's great. It gives you credit for doing that. And I think, I think, I don't know. I think it's a good deal in my mind. I think it's a much better deal than what we previously had. And it also will get more exposure because the thing is like, when people are saying, oh, these kids will be behind the paywall, like, I'm a parent of kids now. Kids don't watch normal TV right now. Kids don't watch terrestrial TV. Kids watch streaming. They watch YouTube. They watch shit like that. So, like, this being on a major streaming service, and this is the one, like, if you buy a Roku, you want to have Netflix. It's always the first little button on the remote and stuff like that. So, yeah, that was the other thing. Sorry, Steve Meiser. That is why I thought Disney wanted Sesame Street for Sesame Place, because they wanted an East Coast park forever. And I guarantee you there was a meeting and that was brought up. I'm not. Anyway, it's Sesame Street might be bigger with this deal because everyone has a tier of Netflix, and I'm sure Netflix is smart enough to put Sesame Street, make sure, even on the lowest tier, it's available. So in my mind, this is a great deal. But I have not seen it done. Let's see when it comes out and it happens, and then I'll be critical of it. But everything right now, this is a great deal. This is the best deal you can imagine. If I am, sorry, if I am Netflix, if I am Netflix, I'm going to do this the best way because it just gives you a ton of goodwill. And if you're doing a positive show, and I think they're also, what also they're probably thinking, and this is probably a little more evil and nefarious, is if PBS is going down, Netflix can pick up the pieces. If they show they're able to do that, they could, in a sense. So I do see some nefarious ideas, but I think I think it's going to work out. Anyway, sorry. Right now. But I'm happy with it. I think it's good. But I think Netflix Kids is like one of the few apps. Like my kids aren't allowed to watch YouTube if I'm not there. But Netflix Kids is fine, and if it's going to direct them to Sesame Street, I'm all for it. I love Sesame Street, so I'm happy for what happened, and I'm happy that show is going to continue. And it's an overall great show. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it. So I hope I'm glad it worked out. There's not much else. I mean, I'm just happy with it right now. But again, we'll see what the deal is. Apologies, that was gross. So, the Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars release date change, which happened, is, I think, the other big major news. Before, they were going to be the start of summer at the beginning of May, and now they've moved to December 18th, 2026, and December 17th, 2027. The 2026 release date majorly changes things, but the issue right now they're having, if we're looking at just December 2026, and I'm expecting everything to change, is Ice Age 6 was going to come out on that release date. That is going to move, and that was a shitty release date because Shrek 5 comes out December 23rd. I think Ice Age 6 has got to move. And then Werewolf, which is Eggers, but I don't think that would move. But Jumanji 3, I think, probably, might stay. And then it changes what happens at the beginning of summer, which now we're going to start off summer with The Devil Wears Prada 2. They're not moving Mandalorian and Grogu at this time, which is May 22nd, which I think will change the December box office. These are, in a sense, I think there's a couple reasons why they would do this. One is, I don't think everyone talked about the reception of Thunderbolts was great, but it didn't really have phenomenal box office, and people aren't really talking about it past opening weekend. Regardless if you liked it or not, its box office performance is fairly standard. So I think they looked at it. As like, this movie could use more time to be made, and we could use the time to kind of give the brand a rest, because there won't be another Marvel movie after Fantastic Four until Spider-Man a year later with Brand New Day. And I think like the Marvel brand is not as strong as it once was, and I think Disney knows that, and they want to give it a rest, basically. Although you would also think they would have moved Ironheart, but I think we all just need Ironheart to just like come out at this point, so let's not worry about that one. But I do think giving Marvel a rest between is probably a good idea, and it'll build up hype and speculation and things of that nature. And also, December release dates are far better because winter releases make basically an opening weekend from, December 25th to New Year's Day. Every day they could make 20 to 40 to whatever million. It's really going to make it like, that's why Avatar releases that. And I think they also went, I believe they have, what do they have? Avatar this year? Let me check. Sinram. I see a Sinram, don't worry. What do they have? Is this year's Avatar, I believe. Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's too. I forgot about that. Yeah, Avatar and SpongeBob. Better move the fuck out of the way, Avatar. SpongeBob with Mark Hamill? Why is he in that? That's okay. And Anaconda? Anyway, Avatar is coming out this year. So basically Disney will own every Christmas from now to eternity. I like this. Sinner said, "Thank you so much for delaying your show this week and allowing Marvel fans to recover from the sad news that Avenger Doomsday will be delayed by 7 months." Cheers to you, Sinner. The main arguments right now, what it will mess up is Spider-Man supposedly takes place during. What's it take place during? It takes place during Doomsday, but now, like, will they have to... Everyone's like, well, what if they have to rewrite it? And I'm like, well, I feel like they probably told them beforehand, and maybe it doesn't really matter. Maybe they have to reshoot some scenes. We'll find out later, but that probably was brought up. The other thing that is also interesting is what's going to happen. The 2 movies that were brought up a lot was Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum, which had a December 17th, 2027 release. That is going to move. You can't have Avengers Secret Wars, which is that's release date, and Avengers Hunt for Gollum on that. But it also kind of changes in May 2027. Box Office Mojo for 2027 May only has Star Wars Starfighter for May 28th. I would expect that to be moved up. I expect that to be moved up. And then Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is coming out June 4th. I mean, those are kind of the who could kick off the summer more, and who could take that release date. That'll be interesting. I don't know 2027 is so kind of far off. But there's really not, from what I'm seeing, anything that could change it right now. But maybe someone will become a little more ambitious. But I think it's only going to change, like, Werewolf, Eggers thing ain't going to change. That's not going to affect that. Because the one thing, I am curious about this with the Avengers things is when Force Awakens and Last Jedi had their big Christmas releases, other movies got seen because people would be at the theater and they'd see posters and be thinking of the movies more, and like Daddy's Home did really well and other movies did really well. And I've never seen that with Marvel, and I'm curious if Marvel comes over for Christmas, if that works out. We'll see what the deal is ultimately, but I think fairly significant that they're taking the Christmas release, because Marvel, other than No Way Home, it doesn't really do the December releases. So it might be also a way, because December releases do really well in that period, and then have almost all of January to just like keep making money and stay number one like the Avatars do. So I think they might be looking at like, well, we'll probably do better, we'll stay around more, we'll make it more of a tradition, we'll bump up the Avengers things, because this is different from the previous Avengers things. And what it does to X-Men and everyone's idea of X-Men, which many people thought would come out in 2027 toward November or something, is definitely happening in 2028. So I do think the Lord of the Rings is going to move. I do think Ice Age 6 is definitely going to... Ice Age 6 should not have had that release date anyway. This just gives them a fucking excuse. But we'll see what's going to happen. I forgot Silent Night, Deadly Night from the Terrifier people comes out this year. But we'll see how it all shakes out. But this majorly changes a lot. And 2 summer openings, which now there isn't a concrete thing for. So I'm really curious how this is all going to change things and change release dates. And it can change smaller release dates too, because when Force Awakens did it, they moved everything smaller and Oscar qualifying to November, October. So it can really, although we're talking about big releases, there's probably smaller releases who could have gotten those December release dates that they're like not going to do. I mean, I wouldn't go against Avengers Doomsday and Shrek 5 and Robert Eggers. That sounds like the top 3 for the, for a fucking month right there. So if I was them, nothing is going to permeate that. And it's really going to change the market in terms of 2026. 2027 is a little too far off. You can play around, but there's definitely people who, and they did this right before Memorial Day weekend. Somebody is getting yelled at by their boss right before they had to leave on vacation. So that sucks. Or they knew, which sometimes they do and they don't. I just want to, anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up. where are we? The other one that, hold on, sorry, Just want to. Okay, sorry. The other one to bring up is Michael, the Michael Jackson thing, which Lionsgate has basically been like, it's not coming out 2025, it's going to come out 2026. A lot of people have said Devil Wears Prada 2 is not, I think, as big as people. I mean, I think it'll be big, but like kicking off the summer, I just don't. My wife watches the movie all the time. I think it's a good movie and stuff, but like I just don't see that. So I could see the Michael Jackson biopic taking that slot. But it sounds like they have a lot of work to do since they fucked up the legal proceedings on that. So we'll see. But it doesn't sound like, if anyone was hoping to see the Michael Jackson movie in 2025, even though they brought it up at CinemaCon and stuff, it doesn't sound like that is happening. Okay. So, I didn't mention before, I should have, there's no review segment tonight because I could get the thing done, but like with the kids and stuff, I really didn't have the time to sit down with a short and write notes and all that stuff. So, it's fine. There's enough of those segments I haven't gotten to make into videos, so I think it's okay. But apologies. But I want to try to get everyone's questions, and maybe this is a shorter show, maybe it's not. We'll fucking figure it out. Next up, the Zootopia 2 trailer. I really like this trailer, and not just because like, oh cool, we have a new trailer for Zootopia or whatever. I think Sidram, do you think the rest of the Jackson 5 will get biopics? I want to see the Tito story. I mean, there is the Jacksons, an American whatever. That was a big TV movie when I was a kid. Cheers to you, Austin. That's a good question. I don't think they'll do like the Beatles where they each get their own movie and stuff, but I think you could. Oh man, there's fireworks on this can. Can anybody see? You don't see that? That's crazy. Anyway, where was the fallout from the abortion? Whoa, what was that? What? Wait, did I say Sidram? I'm confused. I don't think I said Sidram. I thought I said the beat. I'm confused. What? Huh? Did I say that? I don't think I said that. Anyway, I'm a little do you mean... Oh, what? Anyway, cheers to hours. I'm lost on that one. But anyway, oh, I did mention it? Okay, I apologize. Things are moving fast. I called you Sinram. Oh my god, why did I do that? I'm sorry about that. Anyway, I don't think they'll make other ones, but I think you could make an interesting movie out of the other Jacksons that aren't Michael, to be honest with you. Anyway, so Zootopia 2, I actually really like this trailer, and it surprised me, because most trailers are, here's the plot, here's what it is, oh, we're back again, all this kind of crap. Instead, it's like, it felt like, what we were getting, oh, thank you, William Owen, I forgot about that. No, they don't talk about the abortion in the trailer. Sorry, I forgot about that. But Zootopia 2, the trailer is basically like just them and backgrounds and moving around, and there's no dialogue. And I actually really liked it, because it's surprising, because most of them are like, here's what it is, the stakes are higher this time, all this stuff. And it wasn't. It was just like, the the two protagonists, who's the fox and the bunny, Jenny Hops and other guy, and then the snake, and you just see them go from various things and stuff like that, and that's it. And I was like, I liked it. In fact, when I watched it with my kids, they wanted to watch it twice, I wanted to watch it twice. It surprised me. It was a different kind of trailer, and I like that. I actually thought that was like, if we do animated trailers like this would be so much cooler. Like, I thought it was a cool idea. Like, why don't we just do silent trailers and you get sort of the vibe of the fucking trailer? Like, that's such a cool idea, instead of like a slow pop song, like, like Simon and Garfunkel's like which the it's all happening at the zoo. My dad used to sing that to me. But anyway, it is different from. I watched that Zootopia teaser. I will debate you on that, Ryan Welch. I watched that because there was dialogue and they explained the concept. This is just like, here's all the stuff, here's what's going. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a good idea. So more animated things. I don't care. I already know what Jason Bateman sounds like, and Jennifer Goodwin. I don't know what she does. Maybe she could use the word. But I thought this was cool. I like that. I thought they did a good job. So I'm into that, And they don't have to sell the concept at this point. So it's like, hey, look, Zootopia 2. I thought I was happy with it. I like legitimately like I started like, what is this, a screensaver? And it like turned by the end I was like, okay, I like this actually. So good job because I thought that was cool, because it's like no dialogue. We have so many of these the trailers are all sort of the same, and it's like, here's something different. Here it is. We're done. And I thought it was a good teaser. I want to talk about the Jurassic World Rebirth. Why they don't say Jurassic Park, I don't know. I think that's a better brand than Jurassic World because could you see the Jurassic World movies? I mean, come on. The couple things is one, it's far more of a horror movie, which I was surprised by. The other thing is it's very much Jurassic Park 3, which to me, I've talked about this in a review before. Jurassic Park 3 is sort of, is directed by Joe Johnston, who worked on the special effects for the original Star Wars. He actually talks about how he fell asleep in the trench because he was designing the Death Star, and he fell asleep in the trench where the trench run is and woke up. And no, Skibidi Toilet's coming up, don't worry. And I thought, I've always loved that story. Like, can you imagine waking up in the Death Star trench? I mean, I guess it didn't mean anything then, but whatever. But I do like, I like that Jurassic Park 3, basically Joe Johnston looked at the Jurassic Park movies, and, the whole idea of Spielberg and Lucas and all those guys were like, I'm going to take a B movie, but direct it at an A level. That was sort of like their big thing. Spielberg will take, a kid meets an alien movie. If you did that in the 50s, it'd be a B movie. If you did that in the 80s, it's a movie directed by like the biggest director in the world, who's an A director. You know what I mean? So when Joe Johnston did Jurassic Park 3, he clearly got the idea of the theory of that direction, but went, well, what if I just make a B movie? And like, I could tell the audience, everyone rejects it because they're like, no, that's too stupid. And I'm like, but Joe Johnston's like, but this has always been stupid, you guys. Like I like the theoretical argument Joe Johnston makes with that film. He's basically saying like, I mean, these are B movies though. It's about a dinosaur amusement park. Like, I think we've crossed the line into silliness already. I'm going to have the dinosaur talk to you. I'm going to, just make a down dirty B movie. And I always like that about him. And I think this is like a horror kind of B thing, but it's not going to... I have a different take about it. Oh, well. Anyway, it's in the review, whatever. Paleo agrees with me, I guess. He's the only one. But I am curious about the horror element because this is still a kid's franchise. They're still selling the dinosaurs with the JP thing in it, and it's the more expensive dinosaurs, I noticed. So I'm a little surprised they're going as horror with this, but it seems like a cool thing, but I kind of like the thing. I do want to do the Roger Corman ripoff thing. I would like to review that around the time of this movie. We'll see if I do, and it's been a dream I've wanted to. I've never seen them. All right. Let's talk about Street Fighter casting. So this is an interesting casting story because we have 4 names. Who do we have here? Roman Reigns. I don't know who that is. Jason Momoa. I know who that is. Noah Centineo. I sort of know who that is. And Andrew Koji. Who's that? What? Who is that actually? Oh, he's from WWE. The other guy was in Bullet Train? Well, I didn't see it. Anyway, who are these playing? We don't know. Literally, these are just names. They literally, I'm not even joking here. They're just like, this is who we want. And you're like, for which roles? They're like, I don't know, but it'd be good if they were in it. That is, every story I've read is like, we don't know. They're just in talks. they're just in talks, and I just every time I read so many of these, I'm like, so like, he's not talking. One of them's playing like Ken or Ryu or like, and we don't even know. They're just like this is who we want though. So that is the truth of that story. I am noticing we're hearing a lot more video game stories, video game movie stories. I think because of the success of Mario and Minecraft and everything like that. We'll see, but I don't know. I keep dropping shit. Jesus, this is embarrassing. We're not sure what's going on. We'll see if anyone take it. If it was me, I think Momoa likes being in probably video game movies and will probably do it. I'd say Centennial kind of needs the hit. The other two, I mean, who the fuck knows? The Philippo brothers, are not doing it anymore. It's the guy from Eric Andre. I think honestly, if you have a name and you're a director now, and you think you can sell that name, and let's see if they do it with, I believe it's Bring Her Back. I think you don't want to go into the franchise thing because you want to build up that name and be able to go back and forth. So we'll see. I think Momoa would be pricey, but I think Momoa is sort of worth it because he'll do the promo, and he did produce Minecraft as well. I noticed that. I was like, how much is Momoa making the most off of the Minecraft movie? I don't know how much Jack Black charged, but potentially. Anyway, I thought it was an interesting story because there's a couple of these in here because it's like, actually the next one is The Rock for A24. Now I gotta say, I love this shit because if people are like, The Rock's reteaming with A24 for this film Breakthrough, but there's no director attached. I think there is a writer, Zeke Goodman, but it sounds to me like something that gets announced to just get it through. Now, we all said that about The Rock with the Scorsese thing, and that looks like it's working out. If I'm The Rock at this point with this, one, if I'm A24, just let him do attach it because this is a supporting part. It's about it's about set in the turn of the millennium in Southern California. The story follows an alien young man who comes under the influence of a motivational guru played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, whose intoxicating charm masks his morally questionable methods of manipulation and his own concealed darkness. We're told Johnson will play the supporting role of the guru. In my mind, like, if Smashing... This is sort of like... A24 is actually being very smart here. Because let's say Smashing Machine, I don't think it will be. But let's just say, for example, Smashing Machine is an outright fucking disaster. Like, it bombs, critics hate it. The Rock's like, I gotta stop doing this critics shit. But he's like, you know what, it's a supporting role, why not? So if this does happen, he will be the lead, but you could get... I'm literally just making shit up here. The Noah Centineo guy, who I know is bigger with the younger people, to be the young kid. You sell it more on him and be like that football movie and Marlon Wayans or something like that. Like, you know, you could end up doing that. Even in the worst situation, it could work out. But again, there isn't a director attached, and typically the way movie press works, if there isn't a director attached, that means there's not a release date. And that means it might not happen. So he might just have been doing a favor to A24. An example of this is when they were trying to get the Speed Racer movie made, Vince Vaughn fairly openly attached himself to the project, got a cool million or whatever, supposedly, just so people would be interested. And then the Wachowskis came on, then he bounced, and that was like always part of the plan, and that does happen. So that's why like some of these Rock projects people are cynical about, but I think maybe if Smash Machine does what it is supposed to do, or just makes money and goes over okay, he can stay on. But if not, he helped A24 out. It could be that, but we don't know at this time. Okay, so the South Park deal. Where is... Oh, Skibidi... I don't know why Skibidi Toilet... Oh, William Ullman says, The Rock needs to do Southland Tales 2 and get it distributed by Neon. I've never seen Southland Tales, but I've seen so many clips. I should review that at some point. But I gotta wait till the end of the world, and when's that gonna happen? I shouldn't say that. All right, cheers to you, William Elliott. So I want to talk about the South Park deal because it's kind of confusing and everyone's jumping to conclusions really quickly. And no offense to Mr. Tuchellas, who I think was like, this is what I think will happen, which is not what I think people took what he said out of context. So I'm not my Brooklyn neighbor, I guess, Mr. Cellos, didn't. I'm not calling him out because I thought he was very clear in that video. I've seen people mention to me that anyway. I think people got confused about this whole deal thing. So basically, the HBO Max deal ends on June 30th. And then South Park is going to Paramount Plus. But a lot of people have brought up that to kind of settle this lawsuit because South Park trained Matt's... Oh, Cornbread. I'm curious about that. Is this about the Megalopolis you can't watch on streaming other than the airline thing? I think I mentioned that last week. Maybe I did. Anyway, but basically they're getting sued by Max because they were doing those specials and all that stuff. And because Max paid for exclusivity, and the South Park guys sort of fucked around with that. I sort of think Max is in the right, or Warner Brothers, because they paid for something they're not getting, which is ridiculous. But supposedly there's a rumor that they'll work out a deal where South Park will be on both so they can sort of settle the lawsuit. This is sort of speculation. There isn't really I don't see a real thing about this. It's like sources are saying this, and I think people are making too much out of this. Oh, okay, Cornbread. I'm curious about this. To me, it's like this deal hasn't happened yet. like maybe they'll let them say it, but I'm also like, you kind of have to you kind of have to understand why they're like, I don't know. To me, it's like if you can get Max to settle for that, but you still fucked around. So I think it's not a done deal, and we'll see when it is. But there's this speculation that they could do that, but it doesn't. To me, it could be, this is Deadline and Hollywood Reporter and things like that. They might be feeding the trades that to calm things down and help the stock price and stuff, which I sort of think is what's going on. But we'll see. We'll see what the deal is. But to me, it's like, it's not a real thing. You know what I mean? It's like a speculative thing. And I don't like to jump to those conclusions till it happens. They could just say, hey, Max can have everything before the Paramount exclusivity starts, and they could be fine with that. But also, I think Max is a bigger service, although I think Paramount Plus is a better service in terms of searchability. So sometimes they're a little weird. Like, I couldn't find, like, the Mission Impossible movies weren't being pushed as much as I thought they would be. But oh yeah, this is a thing I noticed. Final Destination and Mission Impossible do the same thing, where the streaming things, they take out all the old posters and they give them all like the same poster. Why is that? And it just says MI1, MI2, and same with Final Destination. It's like a skull and the numbers, and I'm like, that sucks, man. Is that like, why do that? Like, I like the posters. Anyway, this is probably not the biggest news, but to me, I thought it was kind of interesting, is Greta Gerwig's Narnia thing, which I think we all thought was going to be The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, because she signed that deal with IMAX and all that stuff. And I think people assume they do Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe because it's a big release, and it came out that she's doing The Magician's Nephew. Now, I know a lot of people said, a lot of people have been like, oh, The Magician's Nephew is great. I haven't read it since, like, my dad read it to me in the 80s or something, so I can't really vouch for it. I don't remember it being super notable. And it is one of the, like, in terms of the Narnia books that haven't been made into things, that is one of them. And I understand usually, like when she adapted Little Women, she picked a different way to do it, and I'm sure she wants to do that again with Narnia. I don't think like for streaming that would work, but I just don't see it as a first one for the Narnia stuff. Like, how does that kick off everything? I think I just don't see that really launching a franchise as much as they think it is. You know, it's like I just don't buy that. To me, it's like not as big of a story and stuff like that. I understand, and it's also like it was written in a different order and stuff. I don't know. I grew up with those books. I don't remember them super well. I remember Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe. I was, to be honest, going to do reviews of as much of the Narnia stuff because I loved watching all those different versions when I was a kid. Even not the 2005 one, which I don't like. But well, I don't like those newer ones suck, man. But the BBC one and the animated one I love. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's but I think I probably like the BBC one and the cartoon more than the book because I haven't read the book since like the 90s or something like that. But to me, it's like you're gonna do an IMAX exclusive deal on The Magician's Nephew. Like, does that have the kind of big enough of a name to get people in and stuff? To me, that's like a weird. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. And then it's like, isn't the horse and his boy, that's a midquel, so does that happen after The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and before like the usual ones you adapt? Are you really doing it in this different way? Like, that's my real question. And I don't think I really don't see that working as well because you sort of need the kid. Like, that brings in more questions. Like, I understand artistically you might want to do something different, but I think like if you're demanding all this stuff and then you're like, here's the sort of 6 book, I'm like, what? And honestly, I do remember, because I used to be more into that stuff. I really haven't read it since I was like a little kid. There was like, I remember people who like literature stuff were really annoyed that they changed the order because you used to buy the box of all the books and Magician Nephew would be towards the end and they moved it towards the beginning. So I'm wondering, maybe she was one of those people who got the box set with the... Anyway, we'll see what's going to happen there or if she changes her mind. But, like, I can't imagine, like, all these IMAX screens are like, oh, yippee, the less notable thing. Like, I can imagine them being a little pissed off. Like, a couple of people said it's the better intro and, like, maybe, but, like, how are you going to sell that to the way she's selling it? Like, that's your follow-up to Barbie? Like, I don't know. I have a lot of questions about, like, are you sure? Like, I wouldn't do that first, but I don't know the materials well. I was just a little surprised about that. So, I don't know. There hasn't been a official thing, but that seems to be what everyone's sort of suggesting at this point. No comment on the supposed banned episodes from Zane Powers. I assume you mean with South Park. I didn't see anything there, but we'll see. We'll see. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. Thank you for the super chat. So I keep seeing people mention. Sorry. Let me go off camera. Sorry. All right. Let me talk about Skibidi Toilet. So someone was mentioning in the chat, and I'll look it up, that Michael Bay said he's not doing Skibidi Toilet. Okay, here it is. Dark Horizons, Dark Horizons is a solid site. We need to give more respect to Dark Horizons. Michael Bay denies Skibidi Toilet movie. Well, I'll just read it to you. In a video, in a very relaxing, Bay is himself around a large glass ceiling room and says, I went on the internet last night. It says, so am I directing something? I know what I'm directing, but it's not the thing they keep talking about. Camera then pans to a table with a bunch of scripts, and Bay continues, that's a movie. There are a whole bunch of movies right now. One is in serious prep, one is in soft prep, one I'm writing, one get ready. But there's not one in this pilot that says Skibidi, so let's stop the lore right now. Okay, you heard it from me. I heard he was more producing before. The thing is with the Skibidi Toilet stuff, and is like, I know everyone is laughing at this and saying, ha ha ha, it's just a singing thing in the toilet. And I learned, whenever the last time Skibidi Toilet was on the thing on this, the thumbnail for Movie Crap, I went to the channel and I hit latest video, and at first you're like, ha ha, you know, I knew about the guy's head in the toilet and shit. But then you're like, wait, the toilets are fighting a post-apocalyptic war? Like, with, like, robots? Like, this sounds like a Michael Bay thing. Like, to me, it was like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if you know the Skibidi Toilet stuff. I don't know. When people are like, ha ha, he's directing him. Like, no, dude, this, like, totally fits in with his Transformers crap. Like, to me, like, I don't know. When people are like, Skibidi Toilet, my kids are really into it. And I'm like, yeah, it's a whole thing. Sorry, I'm talking about Skibidi Toilet. But I respect the lore. Do I watch it? No. But I love when these stories come up and then I click on latest video and it makes me laugh. I don't know. I really, if someone could make a video, explain to me how we got from head in toilet singing to post-apocalyptic war where toilets are attacking like weird robot machines. Please, I would love that. Someone, what's Quentin Reviews doing? I'd love that video. Somebody, what's Salty doing? One of those guys. Don't make my Alf video. Explain to me Skibidi Toilet. I don't understand how we got here, man. It's like every politics, I understand that, but like Skibidi Toilet, like everyone's upset for talking about Skibidi Toilet. Before it was like, have you talked about Skibidi Toilet? And then when I talk about it, everyone was like, please stop talking about Skibidi Toilet. Please explain the Skibidi to me. Salty is busy being a puppet to capitalism. I knew it. Anyway, no. I think it works. It makes sense, and you know, I see. Although I was with someone, and we had to get you'll give me $50. Really? I would love that super chat. You sure? No, I was with someone in a Walgreens, and we walked by the toy aisle, and goes, "Why is this robot Skibidi Toilet?" And I was like, no, it's part of the thing. And they looked at me like I was crazy. Like, I'm crazy because I know Skibidi Toilet. Maybe you're all crazy for not keeping up. I don't know. Sorry, I'll stop. Okay, so Darren Aronofsky. Can you beat up Salty? He owes me $12. Rat Boy Mickey, if I see him, I'll punch him in the face and go, where's the Alf video? Give me $12 fucking for Rat Boy Mickey. I'd love it. Anyway, sorry. What? Wait, Dan, what? What? Hold on. Sorry. I'll stop with the Skibidi, but I'm confused. Why was your governor talking about Skibidi Toilet on his podcast? You can't just leave that. I need more explanation. I'll move on. So Darren Aronofsky did one of the dumbest PR things I think I've ever seen, auteur kind of director or named director. Jim talking about it doesn't make it less weird. Stop. I like that. Jim, stop, reverse, old man yelling and clapping. I needed that. Thank you, Cornbread. All right. Darren Aronofsky did one of the dumbest let's say name director, because auteur is such a stupid term. Anyway, or the way we use it. I mean, it's a fine term if we just use it correctly. But we learned, okay. That's how I know most people hear about Skibidi. I'm glad it's over. Plus, how much do I owe you? How much for you to review Baku? You can just do it in the movie review vote. Just sign up for the Patreon. If you're $5 up, you can be in the movie review vote. Just do it, and I'll send me a link to the thing, and I'll look it up. And I can't do it now, but I understand you're obsessed with it. But thank you, Remiku Haraguchi, and cheers to you. So we have two sort of controversy. I'm girl bossing Movie Crap Live. Okay. Darren Aronofsky on, let's say, I forget which day this was, but on one day he said, it was announced that he has launched a new generative AI storytelling venture in which he will partner with Google DeepMind to produce short films with generative AI. I'm not saying Gen AI. Fuck you. And so I'll say Skibidi Toilet, but I'm never saying Gen AI. Like, what the fuck? And some of Google's new advanced tools. Most people threw up in their mouths when they heard this forever. Um, uh, but like seriously, fuck off, Darren Aronofsky. I know people got mad at the stuff about Perfect Blue and him ripping that off for Black Swan. I didn't see Perfect Blue and Black Swan as close together, and I haven't gone into that whole thing. And I know there's various claims about that, and they don't sound good to me. Darren Aronofsky, for me personally, like I took my dad. I heard there was this cool movie Pi, and I took my dad to it. I was kind of young, and it was like my cool calling because everyone. Because I kind of saw this guy coming and stuff when I was pretty young. But it becomes really clear the more you know about film, the less interesting he is. Although I do sort of have some, let's say, I don't know. I have some nostalgia for him and stuff. Although I didn't see The Whale because I really don't want to watch fat phobic stuff. It's just not interesting to me. Oh, I did tell you that. Oh, cool, Austin. You should check out his podcast. Austin, repost that on the Patreon, on the Discord. Sorry. But then, everyone's pissed off at him for doing this. And then literally the next day, which by the way, he 100% knew. Like, there's no way a director doesn't know when the trailer's coming out. They put the trailer out for Caught Stealing. Which I was like, why? Why would you do this? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, what the fuck? Like, everyone knew this would not go down well. What a fucking idiot. Anyway, I thought the trailer looked fun. It wasn't, like, amazing. It's trying to be more comedy than that. But it was, I don't know. I've never seen anyone go down so tremendously. Like, that trailer should have been more of a home run. That's his, like, box office play. And he, like, fucked it up by, like, being a dumbass capitalist. So I've lost a lot of respect for him doing an AI venture. Like, it's one thing, like, oh, he met with them or he discussed it, but, like, you're launching it. Like, get fucked, man. Like, I don't understand what Aronofsky was thinking with this. But the Caught Stealing thing with Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz, it looked sort of fun. To me, looks like a director like, I think, Tim Burton, where it's pretty clear when they've run out of ideas, and then you're just like, they're still going, and you're like, cool, this is, I think there's certain directors who, like, they run out of their auteur stories, and you're just like, we're all just kind of stuck with them, and I kind of get that from this, but it looked sort of fun, but it is a late August release, so let's, like, temper our expectations there. But it did hamper, like, I'll get you, Austin, sorry. Juan Don Natty brings up, I heard nothing about this trailer, but I think that hurt it because I think more people would have pushed it, and there was a little buzz behind it. And I honestly feel bad for the cast who was like, oh, hey, we'll be in this, like, commercial Aronofsky thing. It'll be a cool badge of honor and stuff. And Aronofsky fucked it up immediately. So, smart move, dude. Austin says, the year after you took your dad to the SpongeBob movie. It's not actually, it was like a couple of years later, but it is true. I think that was one of his, like, what the fuck is this? The other ones I talked to were, like, Fight Club and Ghost in the Shell and, like, cooler stuff to him. But anyway, cheers to you, Austin. Thank you for reminding me of that. I need to review the first SpongeBob movie. And the soundtrack, which if you cut out that Avril Lavigne song, is a great soundtrack. William Ellman said, every Darren Aronofsky film ends the same. Main character problems gets worse and worse. Fade to white, happy ending, or black equals bad ending. Not going to disagree there. Cheers to you, William Ellman. See, a lot of this I haven't seen. It's funny. I don't think I've seen a lot of his stuff since reviewing movies. Like, other than Noah, which, yeah, I think it was just Noah. Have I reviewed other Aronofskys? Was it just Noah? Anyway, which wasn't... Have you seen Invincible Fight Girl? I saw parts of it. I should have kept up with it. It's hard to keep up with stuff. All right. Sorry. Let me take care of my nose. Then we're going to talk about the ballerina thing, which is embarrassing. Hold on. Sorry about this, guys. So if you didn't know, and this is more of a film critic. Oh, I do like The Fountain, actually. That one I would like to go over. I thought The Fountain was good. Oh, a big pile of bullshit. You know what though? I didn't like Mother, but I appreciate that he made Mother. I appreciate that movie was weird and with Jennifer Lawrence and like it didn't work, but I'm like, good on you. Like I respect that like they did it. Did I like it? No, but I respect that they did it. Anyway, so the ballerina cocaine, right? Oh man. No, trust me, if you're from my background, you wouldn't do coke. So ballerina, I just mean the arts in Baltimore. You see what it does to people and you're less inclined, trust me. So for the ballerina, this came out from Matt Goldberg, I think was the one who broke it, on Blue Sky, which let's give him a follow just for that, Jim. You should have followed him before. He said, that apparently for ballerina, and he doesn't work for Lionsgate, they didn't want him to share his opinions on the movie unless they were beneficial to the movie. This is what it was sent to them, and this is the screenshot I saw that said, "We encourage spoiler-free enthusiasm across social starting May 22nd, 1 p.m., 4 p.m. ET, 9 p.m. BST, I guess that's Britain. If you're planning to review the film, critical social statement and formal review embargo until Wednesday, June 4th. That is they will let you, to explain that a little, they will let you do like, oftentimes for some movies, like you can just send a tweet out at this time saying, I don't know, Mission Impossible 8 was cool, but then you do your full review explaining why it's cool later on. That's a standard thing they'll let you do. But for this one, I haven't heard of the enthusiasm thing. I do think it's part of that whole thing of the TikTok stuff of being enthusiastic about movies, not being critical about movies. I sort of blame Stuckman for this as well, because of his not to be an asshole and bring it up again, but like his whole thing of like not tearing down movies. I know that's like still a movement, which is bullshit. I don't like this kind of thing. It's not criticism. If you don't want critics coming to your movie, just say that. If you just want TikTokers to go like, oh, you know what's really cool? But like the movie TikTok things I've heard less about in the 2 years since like the Times and all those big articles about, I think because there weren't very much for them to go into. There isn't much for them to like say. I know a few of them wanted to try to do video essays and stuff, and they sort of all backed out because you sort of have to know history and things about film, and doesn't seem like they do. So I think those kind of people do have followings still and stuff like that. And if that's what they want to do, but it's definitely hurt the momentum and the name of the ballerina movie, which isn't fair to that movie. I think it's the publicity department fucked up and came up with that stupid ass idea, and now the rest of everyone who works on it is stuck with it. I think that was potentially one of the dumbest ideas I've heard from a publicity department, because it definitely went back on, they got egg on their face basically. So in a few quick things we'll get to, joke. Wow, I didn't know that. Conan has been cast in Toy Story 5 as a character called Smarty Pants. I think that's cool. Good for Conan. He hasn't really done that many movies, so but I like Conan, and good for him. He deserves it. I'm not sure what Toy Story 5 is going to be. The Day the Earth Blew Up is going to be on Max on June 28th. Hilarious, since they was so originally supposed to be released on Max and then went to theaters through Ketchup Entertainment, and now it's back on Max, but it makes sense it's back on Max because the Looney Tunes that it is a spinoff of are still on there. Knowing Warner Brothers, I'm sure they will pull the Looney Tunes that it is a spinoff from on June 28th or maybe June 27th. But if you wanted to see The Day the Earth Blew Up, which I think is the best animated movie of the year, despite the fact that they lost all their goodwill for the Oscars by doing it a year before, regardless, it is on Max right before the July 4th weekend. So if you want to fall asleep drunk to something that's really funny, I recommend doing that for July 4th. Another release date change is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem 2 has been delayed to May 12th, 2027. It was previously slated for October 9th, 2026. Animated movies are hard. I do not mind them waiting a year and getting a better movie. I like the show okay. My kids didn't get into it as much, but I liked it for the most part, and I'm excited for that next one. So the K-pop, I'm sort of just doing trailers all over the place. The K-pop Demon Hunters trailer, this looks like a lot of fun. I know very little about K-pop. I know that group New Jeans, and they were pretty good, and I liked a few of their songs. However, I don't really like the Blackpink or the what is it? It's not B2K. It's BTS. I've tried, and it's just not my thing. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But it looked fun. I'm sure if I knew more about K-pop, it'd be cooler. But it looked like a decent, fun movie. I was kind of down for what it is. It just looks like a fun thing. It's basically like there's the K-pop Demon Hunters, and they have their whole thing, and then someone makes a rival like the demons make their own K-pop group. Which honestly, I will say, I saw a similar plotline in the show Odd Squad. So you better be better than the episode of Odd Squad where they make a group that said -4, and then -4, and like cars of tires would disappear and all this stuff. So like if you're better than that one episode of Odd Squad my kids made me watch twice this weekend, you're good. But if you're not better than that episode of Odd Squad, I'm sorry, like you have to live up to this episode. No one's going to hold you to this but me. But I will. But they did a boy band, not a K-pop group, but isn't that the same thing? I don't know anything about the K-pop stuff. I just know the New Jeans, but it seems like everyone tells me it's the Blackpink or something. I don't know. I'm going to watch this. Doesn't matter. All right. Phineas and Ferb are back. Oh, you have a friend who directed Odd Squad? They shoot that in Toronto. Or at least the one I watch. I don't know where they shoot that. I just saw the one that was in Toronto. What do I know? Okay. Phineas and Ferb. No, Odd Squad. They watch a lot of Odd Squad. That's a very good, because kids love going like, it's like when you see a magician and they're like, what is 2 + 2? 5? And then all the kids go, no, it's 4. That's basically what Odd Squad is. But it does very well with it. It's perfect for kids because kids love telling grown-ups they're wrong. So Phineas and Ferb is coming back, I believe, this summer. I see in every article it brings up that Platypus is Controlling Me went viral on TikTok. Of course it was. That song rules. Why did it take everyone so long? Ever since I heard that song, I love the Platypus is Controlling Me. And then his daughter likes him. It's totally positive. A platypus controls him, and then he gains his daughter's, like his daughter sees how cool he is. That's the greatest song ever. What else do we need? Anyway, sorry. It says Dan Promar is a TikTok superstar. I keep seeing that one. But they're bringing it back. They're producing a bunch of new episodes, and various people are going to come back. I think it's interesting. I heard a lot of Star Versus wants to come back for the same reason. They gave them 40 episodes. It's going to come on Disney Plus starting June 6th, but it will start airing on Disney Channel and Disney XD on June 5th. So most people will watch it on June 6th. Most of the voice actors are coming back. They're also Ashley Tisdale's coming back, who couldn't get in a Final Destination movie, but she can be in this. But guest stars include Brandon Hunt from Ted Lasso, Cristino Fernandez, not sure who that is, Kelly Dempsey, Alan Cumming, I know who that is, Jonathan Banks, Leslie Jones, Anna Faris, Ruth Nega. I know some of these people are, but not Megan Trainor. Anyway, it seems like they're going to have a lot of people. I'm excited. Apparently, they're going to change the first couple episodes. The theme song will change. They added certain things. What was it? Since it's a summer later, the kids have grown a bit. They'll be a bit taller. They'll be a bit different. And supposedly, I think the 104 days of summer vacation would be different. At the first few episodes, they'll say it's like another something, and then it'll stop being different. So that'll be great when you're like, wait, is this a new one or not? Cool. Anyway, I'm excited. I'd be down to watch a couple of them. You know, I don't know. I used to like Phineas and Ferb before I had kids. I don't know if they're as into it as I am into it. So I watched, I think my wife and I were babysitting someone at the time. And they watched Phineas and Ferb, and I was like, no, this is like good though. And then we watched it. And then I got into it. So I actually like this. This isn't like my kids got me into it. A different kid who's now like, I think 20 or something. Anyway, before I talk about other things and con, I want to say Tubi. I love that this whole week, every time, because my kids watch cartoons like Gem and Speed Racer on Tubi. But every time I go in, the movie they're pushing the most, and they have like The Flash and like all these like bigger movies from 2023. And every time, the first thing is The Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which I might watch just because they're pushing it so hard. Tubi, I love that you do this. Like I mentioned on Blue Sky, but it is amazing that Tubi in 2025 is like, you know what's the best movie that will help our streaming service? The Sixth Day. Like, I love the rant. Tubi's always like, I don't know, this. It might work for you. I don't know. And then it just moves on. I also like sometimes like, we have this for 2 days. Enjoy it or not. I don't fucking know. Like they're... Tubi Tubi's my favorite streaming service because it's like we just have this. I hope you like it. Like my Tommy Tubi thing, he's just like, hey, you know, I just thought The Sixth Day, it was fun. There's like a couple Arnolds maybe or not. Is that the one? Who the fuck cares? Arnold's in it. There's 6 days. There's a 6th day in a week. People can relate. It just put it over. Ezra Miller is a horrible person. Arnold, he's not so bad. Everybody's got a 6th day sometime. So it'll work, guys. Don't worry. And Tubi's still like killing it in the ratings. I hope Tubi gets SWAT Cat. I cannot read your name. Soak Teef. Yeah, but it won't concern my dad because Tubi does have some weird documented. I will give Tubi credit because sometimes I'm like, why do you have this? And Tubi's just like, I don't fucking know. I just do. How about that? I just do. And you're like, okay, all right. So the awards for Cannes came out. I wanted to talk about this because first off, I saw a lot of major critics, including someone like Amy Nicholson, who is a critic I have a lot of respect for, but sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I should have gone off camera. Sorry. He was just mainly talking about how this will do with the Oscars, and I think America has majorly fucked up and misunderstood what the Cannes Film Festival is, because I understand like Anora did really well, or won the Palme d'Or and then won Best Picture, and Parasite did, and now people are expecting that to continue. That is literally a thing that's happened like 3 times in film history, 4 if we're counting the weird Lost Weekend thing, which I'm not getting into. And it's like, so in all of film history, it's happened 4 times, and you sent someone to cover it. Like, I just find that bizarre, but whatever. However, I don't know Jafar Panahi. You know what? I'll look him up because maybe I did. In his film Best Act, it was just an accident, won the Palme d'Or. He is, and I wanted to bring this up because this is a major thing in film history. Here he won. Okay, I'm gonna actually look him up. Jafar. Did he do like? What has he done? Taxi, The White Balloons, 3 Faces, No Bears. This is not a film. I don't know if I've seen. I think I saw This Is Not a Film like a while ago. I remember liking it, but it's been a while. Anyway, apologies. But he won, and since he won this, he actually is only the, where is it? I'm sorry. He's like the 4th filmmaker to win sort of. I think you have something highlighted. Okay, he's now completed the Rare Festival Triple Crown, winning the top prize at all 3 major European film festivals, following his Golden Lion win in Venice for The Circle, and he won the Golden Bear for Taxi. Panahi, I think, is only the 4th director after Henry George Clouzot, Antonioni, and Robert Altman to win the big 3. So in terms of directors, in terms of big European things, he is only the 4th person to win that, which is insane. Like, that's, to me, that he is a major director. I need to watch his shit. What the fuck is wrong with me? But that is honestly insane to me. Part 1, there's a funny terrestrial radio era Howard Stern interview with Tim Burton where he describes being on a panel at Cannes after Ed Wood got nominated. Really? Part 2, he explains not realizing how much work would be involved in watching hundreds of art house films and how miserable he was doing it. So that's hilarious because for cheers to you, William Ullman. Thank you for your generosity. I'll give you 2 there. Hold on. Another one for part 2 there. Oh, okay. Sean Baker was the first American to win the Palme d'Or since Terrence Malick. Oh, I guess for Tree of Life. Actually, I've heard like Clint Eastwood said, because he was on the jury for the Cannes Film Festival when Pulp Fiction won. He had nicer things to say about it than Tim Burton, which is funny. Like, he was like, that's all you do, but I understood that. I guess Tim Burton didn't realize that, but like most directors are like, I understood, like, that's all you're gonna do the whole time is watch art house movies, which to me sounds cool. I don't know. I know not a lot of critics get in there usually. I know Pauline Kael did, and I think some other notable people. But anyway, thank you for those super chats, William Allen. But yeah, I have heard from people, like essays from people who will mention how it you just have to watch a ton of movies, and that's literally all you do when you're in this nice thing. The jury this time included Halle Berry, Jeremy Strong, are the only ones I think y'all have heard of. I'm sorry, not to. You can look that up if you want to see other people. The other people that won the Grand Prix was for the film Sentimental Value. The jury prize was for The Sound of Falling, and Seurat. Best director went to Calbier Filiho for The Secret Agent. Best screenplay for Young Mothers. Best actress for Nadia Maltali for Little Sister. Best actor again for Wagner Mora for The Secret Agent. I'd assume The Secret Agent is going to be a major film. I don't see a lot of American things, and that seemed to bother America. Here's the thing. I don't end up seeing all the films that win these awards every year, but I do follow the winners. America doesn't really win a lot. Like William Ellman said, Sean Baker was the first American to win since the Palme d'Or since Terrence Malick. I do not understand the American press's deal this year and why they thought they would, and a lot of people who actually follow it who follow the Cannes Film Festival and follow European film festivals, like, why did you guys think that though? And they keep saying like, well, Anora, and I'm like, but that only 2 American films did what Anora did. One is Marty, the other is Anora. There's a huge span of time between those 2 things. It's just not a thing that happens. Not one country dominates those necessarily as much, and especially American, especially now. I don't understand what they thought they were doing there. But it was sort of like, if you notice, the coverage was more about like, oh, Oscars, and then when that didn't pan out, there was a certain angry thing. But I think honestly, like, if you're covering the Cannes Film Festival, not to go like, hey, these are really good films, and here's why is it an interesting film. That's what you should be doing. And like that this guy won, like, he's part of like Antonioni and Altman, like, come on now. Anyway, I am actually curious about Once Upon a Time in Gaza. I read a little bit about that. But some of the times, like, these films don't come out for a while, so I'm kind of curious. Like, I know Neon bought up certain things and stuff, but we'll see. Like, the releases have never been too bad. Actually, I'll look up American films in competition. competition for Cannes 2025. I think Eddington was one. That's the Ari Aster one. What was up for the Palme d'Or that everyone thought? I'm just going off Wikipedia. In competition, we had, I mean, not a lot of American. Yeah, Eddington. Oh, the Wes Anderson film, The Ponchian Scheme. But not really a lot of. Yeah, why did everyone think those were the two? Like, those don't seem like. What the fuck is wrong with people? Wild at Heart did win the Palme d'Or. That's true, but that was way before Tree of Life. But anyway, what were they thinking? Why were they fucking idiots? Anyway, that's true. Pulp Fiction. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. But notice we're talking about Wild at Heart, Pulp Fiction. There's years between them. Anyway, I disagree with how the press covered Con. I thought that was kind of embarrassing, to be quite frank. Like, that's the only way you can cover it. It used to be like when Ebert covered it, it'd be like, hey, these are good movies, and that's the way you should cover it, to me. Okay, what do we have left here? Okay, I want to do some stuff, and then we'll talk about Final Destination Bloodlines, and then we'll do the question portion of the show. So Elden Ring, I think we talked about how there was a lot of rumors that Alex Garland would direct Elden Ring for A24. Well, those rumors are true. He is actually going to be directing Elden Ring for A24. A lot of people are doubting Alex Garland. I think, I don't think, I don't know Elden Ring super well, but from what little I've seen, it doesn't seem like a exact match, but I think it's more like studio pick their big director who would sort of work within them. That's what I take from it. I'm not the biggest Alex Garland fan. To me, oh, good night, Dan. Thank you for coming out. I don't think he's as versatile as some people think he is. He's sort of, to me, like a director people who don't know a ton about movies really like. But I don't know. I don't know this. I'm sort of like, Alex Garland gets a lot of opportunities. We'll see what the deal is there. The game is Conan the Barbarian meets Game of Thrones. That could be cool. I don't know. He's just not somebody. I'm just not super into Alex Garland, so I'm like, okay, I know A24 wants to make bigger things, but I think like this could be a much bigger thing, and a lot of people have mentioned that studio is definitely becoming a different thing than it used to be. We also have David Leitch is supposedly doing Gears of War with Netflix. This to me is probably sort of a Hail Mary for him. I know he, after, what was it? The Ryan Gosling thing from last year, he's kind of struggled to find stuff, and Hollywood didn't like him as much. We'll see what happens with him, and I know there were rumors he would do Blade for a little bit, but it's okay, Ryan. I thought that's what you were doing, but anyway. But we'll see what's happening with the Gears of War thing. But I think it's like, it works out for him, but I don't like it when a lot of these directors have fail at something and then they immediately go, free guy, thank you, immediately go to Netflix, and it's like, oh, guess what doesn't count? And you're like, okay. And it's like they're just safe on a streaming service. They don't have to worry about box office anymore. It's kind of embarrassing. Okay, I'm going to blow my nose, and then we're going to talk about a few more it is getting late. Remember I said this was going to be short? Hold on. Sorry. All right. Let's go down this. Apparently James Mangold is developing a Buster Keaton biopic. Please don't do that. I don't think you're the right choice. That's honestly all I have to say about that. Apparently, I'm just going to run through a few of these because I do want to talk about Final Destination and then take a break. The Rambo prequel to me just sounds like a Vietnam movie. Just make First Blood again. I don't want a Rambo prequel. Just like that just sounds like a Vietnam movie. understand what's so interesting about that. Apparently, the the Highlander movie was too expensive for MGM, which is who originally released it. They were going to do it at 100. They wanted it to be 180, so it then went to Amazon Prime. MGM was going to do it for 160 million. I think this is a really stupid idea. Like, that movie should be like 60 million flat. I don't understand the need to make an uberly expensive Highlander movie. I don't really get it. But I'm with you on the Buster Keaton fight. I sort of mentioned that in my Bloodlines review. Apparently, the Madonna movie, which she was developing, was going to direct, is now going to be a show on Netflix with Sean Levy. I'm not sure if it's going to star the same people or anything like that. I'm not 100%. Madonna has so much of her career, I sort of get it, but I'm a little confused under whether this will work as well. I don't know. We'll see. But I hope she directs it, because a movie Madonna directs about her life sounded amazing. In a show, I'm like, I guess. William Melvin asks, have you heard of the film Sentimental Value from Cannes this year? That's what I'm most interested in this year. I actually haven't. I'm kind of curious to... Well, I read it when I was reading that, and I'll look that up after this. But maybe I'll look up some of those movies. I should see that guy, since he's like sort of a major guy. I kind of want to know about him for the sake, Cheers to you. And the last thing is, this has sort of been the rumor of X-Men casting. These are sort of rumors, so that's why I put it so low on the list. Supposedly, they're going to cast the entire X-Men based on, much like what they did when I talked about Fantastic Four, where they casted Fantastic Four around Vanessa Kirby, like they cast her, and then they cast everyone else based on her. And so with X-Men, the idea is they're going to cast around Cyclops, Jean, and Professor X. And we do know that they are supposedly, at least right now, that doesn't mean what's going to get cast ultimately. One thing they are very much considering is Professor X would be black. There's been rumors that Magneto would be played by Denzel Washington. I think that's kind of overcasting. I can't see Denzel doing multiple X-Men movies. I kind of don't want them to fuck up Magneto like they're sort of messing with Doctor Doom. But that's just rumors so far. No one's actually been cast. There is a rumor that Daisy Edgar Jones could play Jean Grey. I don't see it. She's fine, but she's not really. She's more of like, I like her more in the smaller stuff than like Twisters and stuff like that. So I don't really buy it. But again, that's like a person you would consider for those kind of roles. So I get it there. Okay, I wanted to talk about Final Destination Bloodlines. Because it really, one, I think I was talking to someone about this with the last Mission Impossible, how that movie kind of got a week, and then like everything, Barbie and Oppenheimer came out, and it was like gone, and no one was talking about it, and all that stuff. And so I wanted to talk about this before, like, with Lilo and Stitch and the new Mission Impossible, no one's going to talk about this. But what happened with Final Destination Bloodlines is honestly insane. It is already the highest grossing Final Destination movie domestically, unadjusted for inflation, at $75 million. It only needs to get to $99 million to do it for adjusted for inflation, which it might do. If it gets to $100 million, it'll be the highest grossing Final Destination movie ever. And what's surprising is most of the data we have from the Final Destination from this movie is most of the people that saw it were not like, my age group. I was a teenager when Final Destination came out. You would think it would be people like me who were nostalgic. It wasn't. It was people younger than me who a lot of people have said were in their 20s or teens or even younger when the last Final Destination came out. So I'm actually surprised how this has been embraced by a younger generation. But I get it, because the younger generation is more into horror. It's actually the 8th biggest horror opening ever. It's one of the biggest openings of the year. It's in the top 5. It's honestly insane. My one thing that I noticed, and I think I put this on Blue Sky and stuff, is that the Final Destination films, there's only the 6th one. It started in 2000. which is pretty wild. They always have like 3 years or 2 years between them. It's not like a normal horror franchise, so I'm confused what the future is going to be. Supposedly, the studio didn't know this was going to happen. A couple horror critics mentioned that they were emailed deals for the Final Destination Bloodlines Steelbook DVD and Blu-ray, because they were like, oh well, this is, we'll make like 20 and then it'll be like, they did not expect this, they did not see this coming. So I'm curious what it's going to do um, to that franchise, and like what it's going to be next time and stuff like that. But they have not announced the next one. I think they will. I think everybody thinks they will, but I think the reason they are hesitant is because they didn't plan on this at all. Usually, when you hear like, and we're doing another one on Monday, the Monday after they knew what they were doing, and this, it doesn't sound like they do. The Final Destination Bloodlines people, their previous film was the Kim Possible live action TV movie. How they got this, I think, was from their other movie stuff. I don't think I have. Oh, there was one box office thing I wanted to talk about. Other than Sinners is still only 31% in its fifth week. Jesus, Sinners is destroying it. But I thought everyone told me Kiki's Delivery Service was in the top 10, and now I'm looking at it, it's not here. Why? What? I'm lost on. I heard that from people, and now I don't see it. Maybe they don't count it or something. Anyway, I heard Kiki's Delivery Service did good. Now I can't find it in a box office mojo. I'm completely lost on why it was included and now isn't. Anyway, doesn't matter, I guess. But Final Destination Bloodlines did insane this past weekend. Good for that film. Before I take a break, and then we'll just come back and we're just doing questions. That's all we're doing. Then we're ending the show. George Wendt from Cheers. I'll tell you, I think it's appropriate. I should be talking about it on the show, because how I would watch Cheers randomly, but I never got into it until, well, I used to do the timestamps for this show. I'd put on Cheers, and I got more into it because of this show. So I wanted to give a shout out to George Wendt, because it's not often something I got into because I had it on while I did the timestamps. But he is a great actor. Everyone on that show was insanely solid comedic performer. He also did the Chicago Da Bears thing. He was always cool about doing that. I think he was a great actor. Everyone on Cheers, like, if you look at an ensemble of a show that really works, like really pops, you need everybody there, and it sort of works all together in this nice jigsaw puzzle of a cast, and all comes together in this like perfect picture. And George Wendt was one of those for that show. He did a great job. Cheers is a great show. Please check it out. I'm honestly really serious. Like, if you haven't watched Cheers, you can start at the beginning. You can start in various eras. You will not regret it. It is one of the best sitcoms of all time. Please check it out. R.I.P. to him. I hope he's good. And a lot of people brought up, yes, he's Jason Sudeikis' uncle. All right. Okay. What was that? All right. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick, and I will be right back. Sorry. I will be. Oh, it's already up, isn't it? Is it? Yes. I'll be right. I'm going to use the bathroom. I'll be right back after this. I will see you all soon, and then we'll talk. We'll do questions, and then that will be it. Okay. Be right back. Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back. I feel like I'm about to sneeze, but it hasn't happened yet. Maybe it won't. Alright, I have an Austin question. Alright, let's do Austin last. Let's return to the, oh wait, let me get my picture back up. Hello, let's close this out, everybody. I was like, this will be a short one. I was wrong. I was wrong about that. I don't know why I thought that. Anyway, I like it. Thank you, Cornbread, for writing questions below. I approve of the questions below, I guess. Oh, actually, I see William Almonds maybe first. I'll have to look that up, William Almond. Let me do this Patreon, and then I'll do that. All right. Sidram asks, what's the greatest number of times you've seen a particular film in theaters? In 1991, I went to see Terminator 2 7 times in at least 3 different theaters. Bonus question added Saturday. What? Well, let me answer that first, and then I'll do your bonus question. It's not a good one. It's actually, I know it's The Phantom Menace because I was obsessed and I kept seeing it at the Senator Theater. I think I've told the story. I saw it like 8-9 times. I just kept doing it. And then I saw it at the screening. I think that was it. I have most of the ticket stubs, so I might have to count. How about this? I will find my ticket stub thing tomorrow, and I'll count for you, Sinram, and I'll post it on the Discord, but I'll message you personally, because I'm 100% sure it's that one. I know Force Awakens was 3. It's usually like if I'm taking people to something, but I don't think it's beyond. I think Phantom Menace got, because I just kept seeing it in the Senator Theater. If you know it, in Baltimore, is this like amazing, great theater with great sound and all this stuff, and it just I couldn't. I don't know. It was also the first new Star Wars film I saw, and I was so obsessed with it as a kid. And then I obviously, when I saw it at the crappier theater, like I've said before, it hit me like a ton of bricks, and that it wasn't good. But I also took my first film class, and obviously your impression of Phantom Menace is going to change if you take your first film class. What was I gonna say? Okay, what's your favorite use of an offbeat, optimistic song and an ironic contrast to a film's very dark ending? Examples is We'll Meet Again, Doctor Strangelove, What a World, or 12 Monkeys. I used to like Where's My Mind with Fight Club, because I didn't know the Pixies that much before that. But, man, I really can't think of one. A contrast to a very dark ending. Damn. Probably whatever the song was at the end of Saturday Night Fever, because that was not a happy ending. I'll say that. Let me say that one. All right, Nathaniel Fogo. What obnoxious internet meme could you possibly see getting a big theatrical movie? The It's Fine dog, maybe. Man, if they ever make a movie about emojis, that'd be embarrassing. Austin says, and thank you, Sinram, for asking. I'm glad you're feeling better. Austin says, hey, Jim, what a great show. I might be there or asleep, depending on when I can take my medicine. Also, still sick. Hope you're feeling better. My question is, which is last? Then up next, I'm going to assume is cornbread. I'll do cornbread next, then I'll go back to William Owen. My question is, do you think if J.J. Abrams came back to this new Mission Possible, it would have a better final entry? Or do you think if Colin Trevorrow came back to direct more, it would be about giant bugs instead of Tom Cruise? It would be a better reception from critics. I think they both don't have the sauce to do something like that. I mean, Colin Trevorrow, I think that script for Star Wars, from what I read about it, was good, but he, any goodwill was killed by the last Jurassic World. I don't think either could have done it because they're not precision directors like McQuarrie. I think Abrams, people keep making fun of because he hasn't really made anything in a lot of time, and he clearly doesn't know what to do. But it's also like there's so much hype around him. I think it's like some people said, why are people so mean to him? It's like that mystery box thing. There's so much hype around him, and I also think the Super 8 messed up and then Stranger Things succeeded. There's always been that rumor he's upset about that, and I think that does not help his legacy at all. So if Colin Trevorrow came back to directing, I mean, I'm sure he will at some point, but neither are as good as people wanted them to be. And I think like they did good on a certain movie, but they don't know how to finish a series. Like there are people who should only do the first entry, in my mind. Hold on, I'm gonna look up. Oh, I have seen it. Okay, I have an actual answer. All right, Cornbread. I will get you, William. Cornbread said, "Hey, Jim, great job answering Austin's question. Very poignant. Anyway, I'm very pleased to report I have successfully made someone watch Megalopolis on American Airlines. It was incredible." I love that. I love that, Cornbread. That's awesome. All right. William Melman, do you have a favorite Czechoslovakian film, Daisies and the Creamer, or the best IMO? I see Closely Watching Trains is on here. I literally just Googled Czechoslovakian film. I have seen that. I did like that. Have I seen The Confession? That sounds like it's been a while. None of these look too familiar. What is not come on, are you sure? Oh, that's Polish. Okay, I thought Andrew Waja. Okay, I'm gonna say Closely Watch Trains because it's the only one I see that I know, and I did like that movie. Have I seen Fair Play? That sounds familiar, but I'm just gonna say Closely Watch Trains because I don't see anything else that. Although I've seen, maybe I've seen The Fabulous World. John. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that because a lot of these, like, if I have seen, it's been a long time, and I don't want to say something. I have The Fireman's Ball. Okay, but Milos Forman. I didn't realize he was Czechoslovakian. I would maybe say that one, or or The Shop on Main Street. I think I have seen, but I'm gonna say Closely Watch Trains because that's the one I remember most. I know it's an older one, but I don't want to give like a bad answer. Anyway, all right. Sorry about that. Sorry, it took him a second. Zane Powers, you're forced to make an argument as to why Disney getting Sesame Street is actually the best scenario to go. I guess Big Bird would be at Disneyland, and that would be. I don't think. Yeah, whatever. Emblet, I don't think it would be good. Emblet, where were you when Johnny Mnemonic happened 4 years ago? I did watch it recently, and maybe I should do a review of it. But man, that is a wild movie. I didn't see it. I didn't see it in the 90s. I wanted to. I finally saw it, and I'm like, it's like Demolition Man, where it's like an artist, not a director, a guy who started as an independent artist went and made a movie, and yeah, it was. It's interesting they used to let people do that. They should more because those are wild movies, wild versions of the future. Emblet, was the design of Jumba's nose appropriate in that live action remake? I didn't watch it though. I thought the design from what I've seen is horrible. I guess I should see because a lot of people have asked me about that and How to Train a Dragon. I'm like, I really don't want to pay for it though, so I gotta figure that one out. Austin, before I go to bed, I want to ask you: have you watched Andor yet, or is it really good? If not, you should. The Michael Clayton guy made a good Star Wars TV show. Actually, funny story. My wife and I have been watching that, and I watched like the first 6 or 7, and then like life happened, and I gave up on it. And we watched up to them stealing the credits, and I'm like, I watched up until he went to jail, but my wife's into it, so we're gonna keep watching Andor, and she's into it. A few times I have to pause it and like explain Star Wars stuff because I know Star Wars a lot better than she does, but she likes it and I like it, so I think we watched when I was sick. We watched a few episodes, so we are getting through it. Maybe I should have said Fireman's Ball for that. I'm gonna say Fireman's Ball. Whatever. Sorry, Willie Wellman. Ratboy Mickey, should I eat tomorrow just no pizza or Mexican food? Mexican food. Mexican food is a good Sunday night thing. Hey, Westonator's here. I didn't see that. Zane Powers, worst experience you've had in a movie theater? I think when I saw Transformers 1 with my son, and he shit his pants and started running around the theater and screaming, and that was not fun. Only movie I've left early ever, and I still haven't really watched that movie. And then I got him a poster, and I tore up the poster a week later. Oh wow, he really went scorched earth on that one. I want to watch it again, but whole movie's tainted for me because it was like that was not a fun experience. But he's like 3, so like he doesn't know, but he really like. I'm used to taking a kid to movies, but he really scorched earth. And everyone before, I think I mentioned this in the stream before, but before when we went in and they saw me taking this little kid and we're like, yeah, good dad of the year. People were like, one guy was like, and I don't think I high-fived people, but people were like looking at me like, hey, you're pretty cool. And they did not think that when we left. I'm gonna be when he smelled like shit and screaming. That was, whoa boy. The West Senator, can 100 guys beat one gorilla in a fight if they all lock in? I think I don't understand this. Because I'm going to be honest, if someone's like, if someone came to me and they said, do you want to fight a gorilla? My answer is always going to be, fuck no. Like, I'm not fighting gorillas. Like, I just feel like they're like genetically made to punch stuff and I'm genetically made to sit down, and I just don't think that's going to work out to me. Embla T. Ever heard of Daniela Forever? I saw it yesterday. It's from the director of Colossal, and it's about a widower, lucid dream as therapy, and it's like The Matrix. No, but that sounds interesting. I'll watch a trailer. Ratboy Mickey, Jim, if you could reboot any reboot, what would it be? Reboot any reboot. I mean, I wouldn't mind a different Lion Western Wardrobe. Reboot any reboot. That's an interesting question. I think yeah, maybe Lion the Wishing Wardrobe. I think that needs to be redone, but that is getting redone. That's not a good answer. Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. Either of those. We need a new version. What was your favorite part of Atlanta when you got to visit? Nathaniel Foga. I like the puppet museum. We didn't really get to see Atlanta. We were just in the convention center. So I'd say like my favorite parts are MomoCon, the museum, eating at that pizza place. Like we were just around that area. So it really wasn't. Didn't we go to like Waffle House? Was that it? Probably that. But it was more the people, to be honest. Like I didn't really get to see Atlanta, unfortunately. Alexa, if they're doing a remake, can they have an AI James Dean? Yes, you know what? I want him in that. Cheaper by the dozen 8 times for me. Wow. Can you come up with 109 facts about Cletus the fetus? You know what though? I did think, and they told me like one time I was the other Frederator, and they're like, yeah, we're even doing obscure web cartoons for 109 facts possibly. And I just like, I remember they said that, and I looked at them like, okay. And part of me was like, if they fucking do 109 facts on Knock Force, I will lose my fucking mind if I don't get that job. I remember them saying that. I'm like looking, I'm like, is that insinuating something? And I never knew what that was about, or but I was like, are you, what? Anyway, I guess I could, but they did mention they were doing that, and I don't think they ever did, but they mentioned it once, and I was like, what's the deal with that? Anyway, it was just me looking at them like, where are you going with this? And then I never found out. Anyway, Cornbread, each time you bring up Jurassic World branding argument, oh, fucking hell. Thanks a lot, YouTube. It made me redo the whole fucking thing. Jesus. Each time you bring up the Jurassic World branding argument, I rebuttal with every Jurassic World made $1 billion, Park didn't, and you felt very differently each time. How's it this week? I still think people like Jurassic Park more. I think they just put up with that name. Anyway, I don't know if I answered that way, but which is going to do better? Fantastic Four, Superman, Jurassic Park, Superman. Right now I say Superman. Bloxy, Oxwinkle, what's your favorite sauce? Probably sriracha or ketchup. I like ketchup and Tabasco mixed together too. Or sriracha and may I don't know. Emblity, can deepfake James Dean star in the Highlander remake and expect it to come out? Sure, he can. Zane Powers, what did you think of the anti-drug PSAs you saw as a kid, and did your attitude towards drugs ever change? I liked the cartoon one, and the rest I thought were lame. So, you know. Ratboy Mickey, Jim, they give you $40 million to make anything you want. What are you doing? I'd be like, oh, anything I want? I'll just keep doing that YouTube channel I got and make myself a cool studio. Thanks for $40 million. No, if it was, I don't know, probably like a solid action movie with a good cast, something. If you have $40 million, you just got to make a solid movie. I would try to do something like that. Ratboy Mickey, will Creech come back to defeat the president? I would love it if he did. Black Winkle, do you ever watch those TV blocks of commercials uploaded to YouTube? I throw them on as background noise. I haven't watched that, but I've watched, like, if you can find an hour of MTV, I really do miss the VJ thing. I think, like, Pluto, like, and Paramount used to have, for a little bit, Paramount Plus had, like, Yo MTV Raps with all the videos and commercials in it, and then they took it away, and that I actually do like. I miss that. I always think, like, Paramount is undervaluing the old VJ stuff they have, because I think a lot of people would actually watch it. I miss watching just MTV and VJs and stuff. Are you a shipper? No, I don't ship anything. I mean, I ship stuff to people through the mail. But question, with the animated Predator releasing on Hulu the 6th of next month, do you think it do all right because June is less packed, or do you think it'll get lost in the shuffle with little ads? I think it'll get some hype if it's good, but I think it'll be hard because people will regret it. Ratboy Mickey, Kermit the Frog or Goku? I'm going to go Kermit the Frog. Cornbread, earlier you misread my comment on Momoa in Street Fighter. My comment was in response to remember him playing Blanka, which feels pricey for a monster character who doesn't talk. Thoughts? I think he's still an iconic character, and if you can get someone big for that, that would probably do well, and I think, he's still a big character to me. Emblity, what would come out first? The Highlander reboot, the Blade reboot, J.J. Abrams' next movie, or the discovery of unicorns? I think J.J. Abrams' movie is shooting soon, so I think it's probably that, because that's got the whole thing. Oh, good night for real, Austin. Do you, old man at Cloud over the current landscape of gaming, like, need to install it instead of... Dude, I don't know anything about gaming right now. You're asking the wrong person. I would just be like, we have to do the Switch stuff. I figure it out. I don't really complain. So I'd be like, okay. Ratboy Mickey, go-to gas station combo. Oh, this is an easy one. Literally, if I'm in a gas station, it's like on a bus trip, so it's like Dr. Pepper and pepperoni pizza combos. Crush it every time. Go-to petrol station combo. Okay, petrol station, Dr. Pepper, and probably like Western fries, because I'm thinking petrol is like Royal Farms, and that's what I'm doing with my boy Russ. Go to PlayStation combo. I don't know. Maybe like Vice City, and no comment on streaming. Go to fighting game combo. Probably Streets of Rage and Doritos. You said you'd reboot the reboot of reboot. Damn it. Good call. Zane Powers. We're getting an... Are we? We're getting that show. We're not getting a movie. What are bigger money markers? Parks or worlds? What? Oh, what are bigger money makers? Parks or worlds? I'd say parks. Based on every... question, can me and Cornbread be the only people posting this live chat and fill it up entirely? Apparently not. Alright. I think that is it. We ran a little bit over. I think everyone's gone to sleep now. I want to do my usual thank you. Sorry if this is gross. Usual, let's thank everybody for the super chats. Everyone was very generous tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you for a good return to a Saturday. I don't know when we'll do this again on a Saturday, but it's nice that you guys came out. Blackstock, Winkle, William Ellman, Austin, Sinram, Austin, Zane Powers, William Ellman, Zane Powers, Ramaku Haraku Shrine, Austin, William Ellman, William Elman, thank you very much for your super chat. Cheers to all of you. Oh, good afternoon, M Blood Tea. Is this? No, I don't think it is. I think it's like 2 hours 30 or something. I need to write that down, but I don't think this is. This is the longest one without maybe a segment. But anyway, it was a good show. I enjoyed it. Thank you all for coming out. I do not think there'll be a video tomorrow, because I'm just like a little tired and burned out from everything. So, but there'll be something on Monday. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all the get well soons. I got a lot of those from you guys. Thank you for being an awesome community. I feel really proud to be part of it. I never wasn't proud, but it's made me feel. I was like, you know what, I do have, when people are complimenting me, I guess we do have a really, it's like I always thought we had a good thing, but now I'm like, I don't know. I feel really good about all this stuff and the channel and everything, and I want to thank you all guys for giving me that enthusiasm. Anyway, cheers to you. Thank you for Ryan Walterson for this shirt. Everyone have a good night. Have a good weekend. Do something cool this Memorial Day weekend. See a good World War II movie, or don't. I don't fucking know. Anyway, good night, Green Wing Spino. How's it going? Thank you for being here at the end. Good night, everyone. Have a good night. I'll see you soon. And subscribe if you would like to. And thank you very much for being here. I will see you all next time. Good night.